Do you believe that we're going to be going through some more rigmarole with Jacob deGrom? Is this going to be a serious thing, or is this going to be another one of these little scares that we get with Jake, and he's not out for that long?
He was pitching so good yesterday until, of course, Gary, has to bring up the fact that he's throwing a perfect game. I don't blame Gary, but, everybody on Twitter seemed to blame Gary. But I guess if you're doing a game and the pitcher is that deep into a game and he's pitching that well, you have to say something.
Oh, of course you do. But, it was still only into the fifth inning. It's not like
he had like 60 pitches.
Yeah, I know. He was unbelievable, but he ended up. It was not like it was the seventh or eighth inning. So so what? He mentioned it. I know that people are so superstitious with this stuff, but that had nothing to do with it. And really, who cares about that? Because here he is again. Now we're talking tightness. Luis Rojas said it had nothing to do with pain, but it was more tightness.
Oh, lower back tightness.
Lower
on the
back
right
tightness
side that maybe has to do with his lat.
Yeah, I don't know. I just hope that it's not. It feels like when he comes back and he's pitching great, but then he has to leave, that maybe he came back too early.
And the nice thing is he got a win.
He did, which is amazing. How he leaves with injury.
But Edwin Diaz did his job, man. He came in and got a 5-out save. And, the Diamondbacks hadn't been playing well as Keith and Gary were talking about. They just had an awful series. But still, that's 5 in a row for the Mets. And this comes after, we have the raccoon, the whole escapade, underneath in the tunnel after they have an issue out in the field. And they got after it. Now, if you've ever been on a team, you know that there's going to be short fuses every now and again because you're spending so much time with each other.
Yep.
And it's really, I swear to God, it's no big deal, especially even if punches are thrown. Sometimes those are good things.
Well, it seems like it had a positive influence.
Just let it out, whatever it is. And, the fact that the media wants to focus on whether or not Jeff McNeil and Francisco Lindor are getting along, I don't really care. I just want them playing baseball. And whatever happened between them, it kind of ignited Lindor.
Sure. Well, and McNeil, too.
Yeah.
The both of them seem to figure it out. I guess the only thing, there's a lot of stories that are made up with the Mets lately, whether it's Donnie Stevenson, who is not a real person, his rat and raccoon story that they're making up. I know that you want to keep things close to the vest, especially when it's something like that the cameras didn't see. But when you do this ridiculous story, then the media is going to feed off of that, and it's going to become bigger than what it is. I actually think if they admitted, yeah, our frustrations boiled over and we had some words down there and now we're good, then it would have been less of a story. But then when you're deceptive about it, then people want to dig and dig and dig, and it's a silly thing, and that clip goes viral of Francisco Lindor saying rat and raccoon, and then Jeff McNeil has to respond to that. That would be the only thing. I don't think it's a big deal at all. I actually do think it's a good thing, especially with two guys who were very frustrated, who needed to get that out somehow, some way.
And it's worked. Here's the thing, though. This team is weird because they've created this fictitious hitting coach.
Yep.
Now they got this whole thing. Maybe they're just screwing with the fan base. Maybe they're just like screwing with everybody and just saying, you know what, you guys didn't believe in us. 15 games in, you thought I sucked, and I don't, and I don't need $341 million. And oh, by the way, it's the hitting coach's fault. But now we got Donnie Stevenson, who's our attitude coach or whatever the hell they're calling him. So I think maybe the team is having a little fun at the fan bases and the media's expense. But at the for all of them, all that really matters is whether or not you win. That's all that matters. And, they're in the midst of a 5-game winning streak. They got Baltimore coming in now. Matt Harvey's going to be in the mound in game 2 of this on Wednesday. They get the day off today, so their bullpen needs a rest. Their bullpen has been awesome.
Yeah, very, very good.
So I just there's really not much I can complain about. I can't come in here this morning in the midst of a 5-game winning streak and worry about whether it's a raccoon, rat, or whatever else, or these two guys got into a fight. It doesn't matter to me. Just as long as they're winning, that's all that matters.
Sure, and I know that because it's Lindor, the start he got off to, the fact that he gets paid more than anybody else, and he's getting into a scuffle with somebody who's been here makes it more interesting than it's a couple other guys, but it's over now. That's the thing. It's over. You saw on Saturday night when both those guys contributed, and then Lindor in the Jeff McNeil Zoom came up to him, put his arm around him, they laughed, he said raccoon, and then they split off. So, I'm sure you've seen many instances
100%.
throughout your career where guys have gotten into it a little bit, and then actually there's probably the best thing that could have happened is as opposed to it festering and looming and becoming worse, and then it's unspoken stuff. Get it out, and then you're probably in a better place. These guys might be best friends now for the rest of the year because of a moment like this. I know it sounds crazy, but sometimes that's the effect that it has on a team and a couple of guys. guys.
But you know what's interesting? The effect that media and social media have on a thing. And they can't let that happen. They can't let that get between them. They can't. I don't care what Mike Vaccaro or Steve Serby or any of those guys write. They're great writers, whatever. They have to write, about crap like this. They can write all they want. It's really up to the two guys not to allow the crap that's written or talked about or or that is posted on social media to affect their relationship and affect the success that they're in the midst of right now. That's really the most important thing. So. I think we've gotten past all of that, and I think they're having a lot of fun with it. So fans and media, guess what? The Met players are busting your chops. They're busting your chops, and they're winning, and we should all just embrace it right now and enjoy it.
You ever get into a physical altercation with a teammate?
No. I never did, but I saw teammates get into it.
Yeah.
I saw teammates get into it a lot of times on the field in practice.
Okay.
You'd have offensive linemen, defensive linemen, running backs, linebackers, defensive backs, wide receivers going at it.
Never had to jack a guy up?
You remember when Steve Smith's, hit, was it Cam Newton or something?
Yes.
You remember? Yeah. I mean, this kind of crap happens all the time.
No, it was Josh Norman and Cam Newton.
Oh, Cam Newton. Okay, whatever. Yeah. So this kind of crap happens all the time.
Didn't happen to you?
It never happened to me.
Didn't have to slap a guy around, dropping a ball.
And the good news was I didn't get slapped around either. So.
Yeah, you didn't have to slap a guy around for not knowing the playbook.
No, would I raise my voice if the same person made the same mistake over and over and over? Yes, I would.
What about grabbing a guy by a jersey and getting in his face?
Never.
Never? Wow.
Never.
Man, okay. I'm a better man than I. If I was Boomer size, I'd be jacking guys up all the time.
In the height of stress and anxiety, there will be mistakes made. You'll make them and your teammates will make them. And everybody has to kind of understand that we all have to pick up our teammate when they make a mistake. And if I threw 3 interceptions in a game when we lost, I'd like to think when I went to work the next day, everybody still liked me. So that's the way you got to look at it. But I just think that yesterday was really a unique day because of Edwin Diaz and because of Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah.
The fact that 2 of those guys came through big the way that they did, given all the crap that we've been through the last 2 years with those guys, and they both have gotten better. Like I said, last year was the playoffs for Stanton. Last year it was a rebuilding year for Diaz, and now they both come through yesterday in huge spots, and that was great. It was great to see.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.